little video from the top of my head off of these, or based upon these Murphy Lab acoustics, These guitars, they're very highly priced. I have a bad sickness, by the way. I've been sick for several days. Went to work today. Went to work. I'm going tomorrow. And they want me to go the day after, and I'm going to get out of that last one. I hope. What do I think about them? I'm not sold on it. And I'm not sold on the astronomical price of them. Because vintage, I'm not sure what the point of it is, because vintage instruments, yes, they may have structural flaws and so on. I've got guitars with flaws. But then, why not just buy vintage? Why are you trying to make it look? To get a warranty? I guess that'd be the main thing, you get a warranty. But, there's a lot of things out with structural flaws. I have structural flaws. My face has structural flaws from all the fights I've been in. Not all of them, but one. I'm still a good-looking guy. I'm still a guy where the girls used to fight over me back in school. Fortunately, I thought that would go on forever. I didn't realize as you get older, it gets a little harder. The one that caught my eye was the LOO model of all of them. I think overall Gibson needs to get their quality control on point. The acoustic side of things. I think the original is the best value for money out of these acoustics from Gibson, modern ones. I don't need a pickup system, so that would be one advantage to these Murphy Lab. I'd love to play one, don't get me wrong, I'd love to play one. But to think someone's artificially wearing it, even those Martin Authentics with the artificial pick wear. Because I pick up my guitar and I can tell it tells a story. I can tell someone really played it, these repairs mean something. Because here's the thing, I'm the type of person, I zoom in on things, I think about things too deeply. And if there's a mistake on it, if there's something fake or artificial or not right, my brain will hone into that. And it'll pull me out of the experience of playing. I know it sounds crazy, but I zoom in on every little detail. And all it is basically sound hole wear. They don't even really look that vintage. It's just basically wear around the sound hole a little bit. And they tarnish the metal a little bit. But these guitars, they don't really tell a story. Are they cool? Yeah, sure. But I think Gibson, there's comments on that Gibson video where they didn't even take the time to tune their instruments. I always get my instruments perfectly in tune before recording. So they don't even tune their instruments, then they get a big presentation with 1 million views, and they don't even tune their guitars? No. So that's why they have cosmetic problems and structural defects, because they have no attention to detail. Something I have. If I didn't become a teacher on YouTube, I would never be half the musician I am today, because my recording, I make sure everything is perfect. Some things take 1 million tries for me to get something I'm satisfied with. Oh, a little annoyance here, a little string buzz here, this, there. No, I start over. Even if no one views it, I make sure everything is perfect. So, because it will go on to be viewed. Like that how to wind strings, that will probably be benefiting people after I've passed on. That's a viral shorts. That gets 1,000 views per day. It's headed towards 190K. So, it doesn't have as many likes as some of these viral shorts. It has 5.5 thousand, but I don't get that many likes. I'm not really well liked because I'm an angry young man full of rage and tenacity and creativity and intelligence and articulation. The world doesn't like that. This breed of rock and roller is gone. This breed of intelligent rebel is not coming back. Because I treat people very well, but I'm not a fool. So I'm not foolish enough to buy a Gibson Murphy Lab. And the LOO is the cheapest of all of them. If you wanted a Dreadnought, you'd be paying as much as a guitar by itself, added on. So like I said, I hone in on these little details. I would be looking at it upside down, knowing that none of it makes any sense. But there's some sort of fascination out there with making things look old, making them look used. And I can't say I quite get it. Because I love all my vintage guitars. Each one smells different. Each one feels different. It feels like the LG 3/4, the neck on it feels so stoic and worn in, like an old shoe. The J50 with its booming tone. I just wrote a little note to myself about the L00 original, how it has this metallic, thunderous tone with the elixir strings. And I compared that to the squeaky strings on the vintage LG 2 3/4. Now, obviously, coated strings play a difference. But that's the way I describe the tone. You can only really describe the tone when you compare playing the same thing back to back and you listen. That's how you can tell. And then I realized, wow, L00 original has a metallic, thundering bass to it. So is the Murphy Lab going to be better than that? I don't know. I'd have to compare that. I think the L00 original strikes a nice balance between not being artificially aged, but having a vibe to it. Meaning it's got the script logo, it's got the butterbean tuners that are slightly tan, it's got the slightly antique binding. And the color patterns are based on a vintage Gibson, like the black with the red tortoise pickguard. Oddly enough, they had to include a pickup system in all of them as a requirement. But the Murphy Lab is the white pickguard with little white dots on it. Like my guitars that are vintage, like one of the LG 2 3/4, it's got a big dent in it. It's got a center seam separation where it was beneath the bridge, and all the way down it was basically coming in two. It had a pickguard crack, which is fairly common. It's really got funky tuners on them, legit funky tuners. The B string, you have to hold it for a while to get it to stay, and then once it stays, it's pretty good. The nut is all worn and the bridge has been replaced. It tells a story, and not to mention when I bought it, I opened up the case, and once I considered trading it, and I opened up the case a later day, and I saw this pictures of it in a fireplace. Someone had all these photos taken of this guitar in a fireplace. Then they included that with it when they brought it to this place, Rhode Island, Empire Guitars in Rhode Island. So it's got a vibe, it's got a backstory. No one was sitting there artificially, and it also had a vintage Gibson catalog, which I made a video on. It has like 60 views and it's not going up. But so it's telling a real story. It's just not fake artificial wear and tear or whatever. So I'd like something in between. I'm not sure how I feel about the torrefied tops either, which is they're baking the wood to try to simulate old wood, but they're not baking the back and sides, even though the top is the most important, but still, excuse me. So that's pretty much my thoughts. I didn't even plan on making this little on the fly thing. I really hate this YouTube algorithm though on this channel, as far as I've got the one viral shorts, and then on my shorts channel I can upload the same video, like if I'm putting up a random no effort shorts, and I just put one up of a squirrel on the shorts channel. You can check it out on the shorts channel. Put it up, exploded instantly, 500 views instantly. And then I put the same one up on this channel, and it has 1 view. But I have viral shorts on this channel, but it's like everything's backwards. I literally feel sometimes my life is completely backwards. Let me know down below if you feel the same way. But anyway, all in all, the prices they're asking for these things is foolish. This fascination started with electrics. and then it moved into the acoustic realm. It started basically with like Les Paul guitars, and people wanted to recreate those revered sunburst Les Pauls, and now it's crept into the acoustic realm. And I'm sure, honestly, that they're very nice instruments, but you gotta think about this carefully. Thank you.